What's up, guys? Army-Firedawg back again, and today I finally have the review time for you of the Beyerdynamic. This is the flagship portable headphone, or previously, but this is the Beyerdynamic T5p first generation. There is a second generation now, but more or less they are the same with a few minor differences. But as always, I like to start with the construction. So, first off with Beyerdynamic, I have always been a very avid fan of the craftsmanship that goes into the Beyerdynamic products. I mean, all the premium products are hand-built, and that goes a long way with at least me as a consumer, that someone physically put their hands on this versus just being punched out by a machine. Now, craftsmanship is not the same as durability. The durability of the T5Ps could be a little bit improved on. For example, when I hold it here, the hinges that hold the ear cups together don't quite stay firm. In fact, this one right here keeps falling down. See, there it goes. It just went down 2 notches. That is not a big deal, but for something that costs over $1,000, I don't believe is acceptable for that to be there. I feel like everything should be spot on, no complaints issue, and very premiumly built. Yes, these are built with premium materials, but they're not put in a way where it makes the most use of said materials. Moving on down, the framework itself is wonderful. Like, the driver housing is absolutely top notch. It's built very, very nice. It's super sturdy. The inside has plenty of room. I have no complaints with the Tesla driver housings. I would stress that you take care of it and you don't leave it out. For example, I do believe the sides can scratch relatively easy or dent depending on how much if you drop it. Also, with just this cause issue, it's already this loose. I feel if you drop it, that may cause that to get worse. The ear cups, they feel inexcusably cheap. Like, the ear cups feel like they came off of a $30 headphone. I mean, they could have at least put something like a leather pad on here versus this stuff. I'm sure the foam is very premium, and it has its place as very isolating and improving the sound, but from just feeling it and even looking at it, it just looks and feels badly cheap. Now, moving down is by far my biggest complaint. The cables, first off, are just a base model cables. These do not feel very firm. They don't feel premium at all. They just feel like the most basic run-of-the-mill cables. To make that worse, they are non-detachable. With these, even with that normal maintenance, you are now stuck with a very expensive repair costs. Or, more applicably, or more common, I can almost assure would happen, is a household pet, or heck, even you, like say you stand up and I'm sitting in the armchair right now, the cable gets snagged on the chair, and there you go, you just ripped your cable. So now you're stuck with a repair fee, easily avoidable if the cables were simply detachable. I feel there's no excuse for any product that is over $1,000 with the amount of technology that's out today to not have detachable cables. Yes, there's arguments for you lose sound quality, which is why I referenced today's technology. At least me personally, I can hear no difference between a detachable cable and a solid body cable in terms of the sonic presentation. Make your cables detachable, which the new Generation 2 Beyerdynamic T5Ps, they've made detachable cables. So my biggest issue is only with the Gen 1s. Alright, so construction aside and moving down. The comfort, I actually have very minimal complaints on the comfort. Honestly, I have high praise for the comfort, and it's mostly just a personal issue versus a product issue. So when you put these on, the clamping force is non-existent. It just sits just nice on your head. There's a ton of adjustments. Headband has a wonderful amount of give. My issue is, and again it's only for me personally, is I have rather large ears. I do have to actually kind of, as you see when I put them on, I had to kind of roll my ears around the ear cups to get them in. And these are actually pretty large ear cups. Again, that's just a personal issue, not a product. These are very well built and they are wonderfully comfortable. I have worn these for several hours on end and without the slightest inkling of fatigue or overheating. Mainly with my long gaming sections, which I will cover here very soon. Alright, now moving on to what you all care about the most. How is the sound quality of them? And overall, they're not my personal cup of tea for their sound, but they do have their place for those who are into this type of sound. Being unbiased, they are dang impressive. I'll start with the imaging and soundstage. The soundstage is respectably distant, as in it sounds fairly far out. I have no complaints with the soundstage. Not only that, the positional cues are gorgeous. They are just there. The imaging, you see everything. If you close your eyes, whatever you were listening to, watching, whatever it is happening in front of you, you are there at the performance. Beyerdynamics and their Tesla tech does a wonderful job with imaging. They do take some juice. Like they're super efficient drivers, I understand this, but for my best results that I've gotten personally, even though these are a portable headphone model, I have given them external amplification. Whether it be from my shit stack, or it be from maybe a higher end portable DAP such as the Luxury and Precision L3. Something that has a little bit more juice than your average phone. I'm not saying you have to power it out the wazoo, but the Tesla drivers, if you give them some extra oomph, they sound better from personal experience. Your mileage may vary. But I would like to dive more into the individual aspects of the headphones so you can kind of understand what the sound signature is of the Beyerdynamics. And like usual, I like to start with the treble. So the treble on the Beyerdynamic T5ps are definitely what they focused on. The treble of the Beyers is super extending. I mean, it'll go as far out as that recording will make it. If it's piercing, by gosh, you better be in for a rough ride because it will pierce the dog out of you. The highs are super nice. They are wonderfully clean. Oh my gosh, they are detailed beyond belief. If you think I use the word detail to describe the T70ps, that doesn't even get close to how well and how just overall detailed the T5ps are. You can hear every remote scratch or tick on cymbals. You can hear, or actually I heard, stuff going on in the background of videos that I've watched dozens of times. Most of these, yes, are YouTube videos or like live video stuff like that, but I've heard stuff that the mic has picked up in the background that I've never heard before, nor have I heard on other equally tiered headphones. The only downside I do have with the treble, and it's very rare, so this is within margin of error, I'll leave that as, but occasionally it does get somewhat sibilant. Especially like with my AKTA-IE MK2 reviews, when I'm listening to it and mastering it on with the T5s, I hear it quite a bit. Like it's become really prominent in that video. Now, yes, that could also be my microphone just so happened to be picking up a lot of the S's and sounds. It can go either way. But I did have that experience, so I thought I would include it regardless. Now moving on to the midsection. And y'all know, mids are my favorite. I love the mids. That's where I get the heart, the soul, the vocals of the music. The mids on the Beyerdynamics are just slightly above neutral towards the treble side because of that very strong treble presence. However, again, the mids are very clean. They're very lifelike. If you're listening to a performer, yes, they sound a little bit sharper or a higher tone than what they normally do, but they still sound very lifelike, that they are right in front of you. You get that flesh and bone. You just get that realism with the T5ps that just makes them wonderfully enjoyable to listen to. They're not a warm presentation, nor are they a musical presentation. But for those of you who like to get the very nitty-gritty details and you want sonic accuracy, then you will take great solace in the T5ps, especially if you're looking for a portable product. And the bass on the Beyerdynamics T5ps are super tight. They are wonderfully accurate. They are quick, responsive, but not heavy. In fact, they're so bass light, you could actually probably call them a bright, very slightly, but you can call them a bright headphone because they have a very notable recession in pretty much the entire bass line. There's no frequency range of the bass that sounds forward. It all sounds really laid back, really reserved, if I may. And now, granted, for when I'm listening to and I want to really pick apart a song and listen to the finesse, that's fine, that's dandy. But on songs that I do know, this is why I cannot call these a reference class headphone, because on songs that I know are point on to the bass, like they are built to be a bassy song, these just sound, and listen to that beat and you're like, oh, okay. Oh, I can hear that note. Well, I never heard that note before. But you don't get any of that musical aspect, which is what that song was designed for. They're not designed to be picked apart. They're designed to be enjoyed, to bob your head, to tap your feet. So for those of you who like rap, techno, trap, or EDM music, I would honestly look elsewhere. Most of the Beyerdynamic products, they don't generally play well. If you want a fun musical experience, if you're looking for control, tightness, accuracy, and responsiveness, then you will love them. Going back to what I said earlier about the imaging, the soundstage, the positional cues, and going with gaming, when I've plugged them in my beloved game Destiny, you are in that world. Like, you are so immersed in that game with the T5s. It makes you think the soundstage is wider than what it really is because of how just accurate you are. But when I'm playing with T5ps, like especially when I'm raiding or doing something with a lot of activities, or PvP especially, where you're going against other people, it's almost cheating. Like, you hear everything. You hear steps, you hear thrusts, you hear gunshots, you hear everything, and you know where they're coming from. And that says quite a bit. And that's just plugging them into my controller. I do have a mix amp as well I use. I'll reserve my opinions on that. But the headphones truly speak for themselves. So if you're looking for a absolutely elite class, top tier gaming headphone, I would look into the T5ps. I do believe in their respective price point as new at $1,500. I think they're right about an average headphone for that price range. If that is the type of sound that you like, then you will love them. If you don't quite love that sound at all times, you won't hate them, but you won't be able to take full appreciation for the given headphones. So that's why I can't really rate it too much higher. Also, my issues with the cables, the overall durability of it, I can't put it much higher than, an average headphone. Now that the Generation 2 has come out and the prices of the T5ps, the first gen, has drastically gone down. I've been seeing them anywhere between the $400 to $600 range. In that price point, they excel. They are by far, in the $400 to $600 range, one of the best headphones you could get, period, in terms of an accurate, clinical, and detail-oriented headphone. Are they musical? No. But in that price point, if you want a HD 800, kind of a similar sound-ish, without getting nearly to that price point, you should really check out the Beyerdynamic T5p Gen 1s. If you have any questions, or feel there's anything I may have missed, or would like me to further explain something, please hit me up in the comments down below. I love replying to you guys, and I love hearing your all's opinion or your thoughts on the equipment. If you're new to the channel or stopping into the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button and keep yourself on the field. But as always, guys, my name is Army-Firedawg. It has been a pleasure, and most importantly, I ask my friends, please stay safe.